right now, at this moment, there is so much happening. And most of it we can't even see. Without realising it, we're hurtling through space, orbiting the sun at an incredible 110,000 kilometres an hour. Meanwhile, the Earth's 3 trillion trees are producing roughly 9 billion kilos of oxygen each day for us to breathe. Of course, incredible things aren't just happening around us. They're happening inside us too. Until this moment, you didn't even notice you're breathing. Your medulla, a small centre located in your brainstem, regulates your breathing for you. And in the time it takes to inhale your next breath, approximately 50,000 cells in your body, including blood cells, will die and be replaced with new cells. The human body is truly incredible. But as we all know, sometimes things can go wrong. When everything's functioning normally, your body will continuously replenish cells, making the right number and type of each new cell to keep you healthy. When it comes to making new blood cells, stem cells in the bone marrow develop into one of 3 types of blood cell. Red, to carry oxygen. White, to fight infection. Or platelets for clotting. But if there's a change or mutation in the DNA in the stem cells that tell the body how to make the blood cells, then the blood cells might start to develop abnormally or not die when they're supposed to. These abnormal cells cause blood cancer.
I had a little lump in my neck and I'd done all the right things, gone to the doctor. Doctor didn't think it was anything. I was feeling tired, sick, weak, and it was when I went back 6 months later, that's when they did some tests and found out I had an incurable form of leukemia. I had my 2-year-old daughter on my lap and I was told I had 5 years to live with my markers.
This is our enemy. Blood cancer. There are 3 main types of blood cancer. Leukemia, caused by the rapid production of abnormal white blood cells. Lymphoma, a blood cancer that affects the lymphatic system, and that comprises immune cells. And myeloma, a blood cancer that affects the white blood cells that usually produce antibodies to fight disease and infection. In Australia today, this brutal enemy is taking too many lives. When combined, blood cancers are among the most diagnosed cancers and the leading cause of non-preventable cancer deaths. But now, it's in our sights. Today, research is transforming blood cancer from a death sentence to a treatable chronic disease.
I had acute lymphoblastic leukemia when I was 9. The treatments I had was the intense treatment, radiation.
Radiotherapy works by targeting cells that are rapidly dividing, and this is why it's used as a cancer treatment. But it's always going to have collateral damage on some of the normal cells of the body.
This means that there are side effects related to healthy cells being killed by the chemotherapeutic agent.
Unfortunately, the side effects from conventional treatment, especially chemo and radiotherapy, can be terrible. Sometimes almost as devastating as the disease itself.
Before cancer, I was an active kid. In treatment, it was very hard to do all the things I loved because I couldn't get out of my bed. I had a lot of mouth ulcers. I couldn't eat. My understanding about this disease is it takes the best out of the kids, like it takes their childhood away from them.
Medical research is so important because without it, we wouldn't have new treatments and we wouldn't have new approaches to treating diseases like cancer.
Increasingly, when a patient now presents with cancer, we can do tests that allows us to understand the exact genetics of the cancer and identify vulnerabilities that we can design drugs for.
What we're hoping with research is that you can go back to a normal life very, very quickly.
The more we can break down cancer into specific subtypes, the more we can learn about our enemy. And the better we can target our treatments.
The mapping of the human genome has been an amazing advance in this, and this is very powerful because it can give us an idea of how we might target those cells specifically.
So what scientists were able to do was to develop a drug that's essentially telling the leukemia cells to commit suicide, and that is proving revolutionary for treatment.
The amazing thing about this new class of precision medicine is that these drugs target the very proteins that are feeding the cancer. That I know I take my tablets and within 4 hours it's wiping out those very cancer cells.
Our enemy has every right to be nervous. In a few short years, discovery has led to 24 novel therapies for blood cancer that have already been approved by the FDA. And as I speak, scientists are working on 490 new medicines, all working towards bringing life-saving treatments to blood cancer patients.
This is the role of the pharmaceutical industry, to beat this enemy once and for all. The future is exciting because if we continue to support this vital medical research, we hope that one day cancer can be a thing of the past.
We can design combinations of different treatments which would target both the very specific abnormalities in the cancer genes without causing much side effects, and at the same time the cancer can be kept away permanently through the body's own natural immune system.
In simple words, an oncologist can say to a patient, we've diagnosed this particular biomarker in your cancer and we can now match it with a targeted therapy that's going to give you a high chance of a cure.
It's really exciting that much of that research happens right here in Australia. And although we might be a small country, we punch well above our weight and we're making a big impact.
Thanks to the innovation, tenacity, and incredible minds of the scientists and researchers, and the people who make their work possible, our kids will grow up in a world where blood cancer is a treatable and one day altogether curable disease.
I'll never forget the phone call from my trials nurse when she told me I had no detectable disease using the most sensitive equipment they had. I had spent the Christmas prior thinking it was my last with the children, and I had taken, 500 photos. A year later, I'm celebrating Christmas where I only take 5. And that's, it's remarkable. I'm very, very grateful to the scientists who came up with this.
In the names of all those who have suffered at the hands of blood cancer, I'm grateful to say we are close. We will win this battle.